What's going on, guys? Blake Hawthorn, It's His Turf. Are you tired of going up to a property and just guessing what you should charge due to how it looks compared to the other property that you mow? Well, tonight's video is for you. Alright guys, so we're going to be jumping into how to find your price per 100 square foot for lawn care tonight. This is another episode of Lawn Care Tips and Tricks. We do it every Sunday night at 6 p.m. This is a new series we're going to be running now till y'all stop enjoying it. So just continue to give me some feedback and I'll continue the videos. I really do enjoy all the input. Last week's video was great. I had a lot of people just reaching out telling me that, hey, Sunday evenings was working great. So that's like a huge landslide in the poll that we took on that video. I did have somebody else reach out, talking about Sunday being the Sabbath and just having a day of rest. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Definitely that Sunday morning is with the family, that time, at church and just connecting with God. But Sunday evenings, for me, this is something that I'm posting out ahead of time. So a lot of people reached out and said, hey, we love Sundays if it doesn't mess up your family time. So this is a video we're going to put out on Fridays, guys, and we're just going to, set it and schedule it to come out on Sunday for you. So, I do appreciate y'all's concerns in that, reaching out to me. It means a lot, actually. And thank you. But the biggest thing, guys, is that we can continue to grow, take Sunday evening, get filled up, get some tips and tricks on what we use in our company, figure out how to apply it, and jump into the week head first. All right, so last week, guys, we talked about fine lot size, and this is how you can measure properties out. But the next step in doing that and actually giving a customer a price per square foot over the phone is knowing how to charge and what your price is gonna be for lawn care by the square foot. And so that's what we're gonna do tonight. And there's 3 ways to do that. 1 is to know your price per acre. 2 is to know your price per man hour and how many square feet you can actually mow in that time. And then 3 is going to be picking your ideal property, breaking it down and figuring out what you're currently charging per square foot and then reapplying that to the new equation. Guys, for years, I was the guy that would just pull up, I would look at a property and I would say, that looks a lot like Mr. and Mrs. Smith's house that I charged $55 for, so hey, let's charge $55. Or, well, there's a little more on the side, so let's bump it up to $60. Or hey, there's a little more edging over here, or hey, there's a little more push mowing over there, and bump it up $5 or $10. And so this wasn't a good metric in growing my company. It wasn't a way that I could tell a salesman to go out and to bid a property, because literally he would have to be in my head and to know all the things that I know and to have my experience that I have with properties to be able to do that. So what we did is we went back, we did the math backwards, and we created an equation that the price per square foot would be the same for everybody across the board. By doing this, it allowed us to start bidding properties sight unseen from our office or our truck or wherever we may be. And so that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna show you how to free yourself up, because we know you're already working sun up to sundown. You can't grow your company because you can't go chase estimates. You're too wore out in the evening to go and look at properties, or you wanna spend that time with the family. And this is gonna give you a way to real time, take a few minutes in the truck, bid them, give it to the customer right away when they call, and to have that price to them, give you a ballpark to figure out if this client is the right client for you. All right, so the first equation we're gonna look at is the price per square foot based on what you charge per acre. Here at It's His Turf, we charge $125 per acre for our lawn mowing. And so this is going to be, you're not a wide open area, but this is gonna be your area, typical around here, has a lot of trees and things like that, 125 per acre. So what we do is we take 1 acre, which is 43,560 square feet, and we're gonna divide that by 100. So once we have that, 435.6, we're gonna take our price per acre, which is $125, and we're gonna divide that by 435.6. That's gonna leave us with 0.2896 something, and we're just gonna round that up to 0.29. This gives us our price per 100 square foot is 29 cents. And this is the same equation that we're gonna use to bid any type of property, whether it's 5,000 square foot or 15,000 square foot. The only thing that I do hope that you will do is create a minimum charge that you charge per lawn mowing. Because if a really small property calls you, for us, we have a $45 minimum. And so I would encourage you to have something like that. It used to be a $30 minimum. And so just figure out what works best and price it that way. guys, so for those of you that may not have a price per acre, the next thing we want to look at is I want you to think about your ideal client. Take a few seconds, think about your best client that you make your ideal amount of money on, that takes you the ideal amount of time to do. Now that you have that client figured out, we want to look them up on Find Lot Size. So you're going to type in the address, pull that property up, and start to measure that property out. Once you've determined what your square footage is on this property, you're now going to do that equation backwards. So take your square foot, divide it by 100, and now you're going to take that number and you're going to divide your price that you're charging for that property by the number of square footage into it. And that should leave you with a price, if you're in the industry, in that 20 to 35 cents per 100 square foot is kind of what the going rate is in the industry. Guys, please know that this is kind of a residential. Commercial is an entirely different ballgame. I really do recommend that you go on site on commercial properties, look at them. There's a lot of things going on within commercial properties. There's always extra trimming, a ton of parking lot, trash cleanup, stuff like that. So be sure, get out there, look at new commercial properties. But this metric should help you a lot when bidding residential clients. All right, guys, so the third way that we're gonna look at tonight is going to be finding your price per 100 square foot based on your charge per man hour. For us here at It's His Turf, we actually charge $65 per man hour for lawn care, and that would say that's 2 guys. It'll take them on average, 1 hour to do an acre. So we know, do the math backwards, that's gonna put us a little higher on the price per 100 square foot for lawn care. So to make ourselves very competitive in our pricing, that's why we chose the $125 per acre price when determining what our price per 100 square foot was gonna be, instead of going with the 130, which is based off of our man hours that we charge. Typically, I only like to use the man hour charge for leaf removal and fall cleanups, which we'll get into when it gets closer to fall. All right, guys, so once you have your price per 100 square foot, customer calls, you go to Find Lot Size, you look them up real quick, you have your square footage, you divide that by 100, and then you multiply it by your cents per 100 square foot. That gives you your price that you're going to tell the customer. The last thing that you want to look at is a couple things. Is going to be, is this a corner lot that has additional edging? Is there a sidewalk that runs through this property? Is there a fence around the backyard that requires push mowing? Is there a steep hill that needs a lot of weed eating? These have a +5 and a +10 rule for us. And so typically a corner lot or a sidewalk is a +5. A fenced in backyard that needs push mowing is going to be a +10. And then say that there is a 60-foot ditch that's got to be weed eated is going to be a +10. And that's just some examples that we do on our typical properties that run anywhere from 10 to 15,000 square feet. All right, guys, I hope that you found tonight's video helpful. Be sure and remember those +5, +10 rules when you're figuring in your price per square foot and giving this customer a ballpark estimate over the phone. Remember that this is just a ballpark estimate. You're trying to get your foot in the door to make sure that the customer is one of your ideal clients, that their budget is within what you charge, and that it's worth going out and mowing the first initial time. On that first initial mowing, that's when I really recommend that you go through, look the property over, try to upsell on shrubs, on additional services, and move them into what we call our unlimited contract, which is an all-inclusive package from fertilization, sprinklers, shrubs, beds, lawn, you name it. That's the goal, guys, is that foot in the door to make them a long-standing client of yours. So guys, best of luck out there. We'll see you next Sunday. Thank you so much, and God bless. Is your company like mine? Do you have guys that are stopping to talk on their cell phones?
Package is secure. Package is secure. I repeat, package is secure.